Guys, it finally happened. I finally got to see The Amazing Digital Circus, Episode 9, the last act in cinemas. And this was the finale, and yes, my favorite show is ending, and I am not happy. I loved the show ever since it came out. I didn't watch the pilot's premiere, but I stayed up for all other episodes except Episode 3 and Episode 8? Yeah, 2 of them. But the rest, I watched them clearly. I wish he gets a second season, because this reminds me of Murder Drones. Like, if you remember, Murder Drones just gets a second season at the end. Yes, basically, didn't get a second season. But they still continued on the series. This means that Digital Circus won't get a second season, but will still continue on the series. Here's a bunch of spoilers I'm gonna review. And before we get to the spoiler-free review, I'm gonna talk about so many things. We got to see a recap for the Digital Circus, and then the fish that talks in Episode 7 talks to us, like it's about to break the fourth wall. Once we see Episode 8, we get straight into Episode 9. The cast don't know what to do, but everybody's just like cries, and they don't know what to do. A lot of things happen, and yeah, Caine and Pomni create something with their hands, so they basically can create anything without Caine. This made everybody think that they could be the original creators. Then, something happened. Ragatha mentions Ribbit, and mentions Ribbit twice in front of Pomni. Pomni says that she already knows that she talked about Ribbit before. And yes, before we talk about this, something happens. When Jax approaches Pomni, he says never mind, and then a few minutes later he abstracts. Just out of nowhere, he abstracts. We're not everybody see him. But then, Pomni turns off the lights, make darkness, make Jax see her instead of attacking her, which made Pomni hug Jax so far, and that made something worse. We saw a bunch of Jax doors, and the first door was crazy. It led to where Jax was choking Pomni. He was choking Pomni like nothing's happening. And yes, I mean it. Basically, he was choking Pomni. And I think it's bad, but Pomni didn't die. Anyways, another thing that happens there is that when Jax chokes Pomni, he looks right in the mirror, making sure that scene that we know that was in the trailer was all about that. And yes, I don't know why, but Ragatha's door had an X. Everybody's going to the Amazing Digital Circus Theater and watching the Digital Circus last act. The first thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I think it was the best cinema experience ever. Another thing about this spoiler-free review is that we meet 3 versions of Jax. A normal Jax, a gay Jax, maid Jax I could have said, but when Pomni talks about reality, he just calls realities, yeah, let's not talk about that, but he calls reality K. Anyways, then something happens. You see a scene where Zubo and Jax are arguing. And not just arguing, but they're actually gonna kill each other. Jax throws Zubo down, and this makes Jax end the story. After that, we see something like Maid Jax talking to the Gangle from Episode 4. And yes, Gangle hates Jax with her actual happy mask. And yes, finally we saw her being happy, but that was just an illusion. Then, something happened. We see how Jax in the real life. Yes, we finally get to see how he was driving a car, what happened that day, and what happened. And then we get this. The next thing shows us where Jax enters the Digital Circus and makes friends with Ribbit. Unfortunately, something happens where some abstractions show up and a lot of things happen. Basically, you know the snow globe scene from Episode 7 and Ribbit voiced in it? Ribbit basically didn't say anything there, but we did hear a little bit of her voice. Yes, Ribbit and Jax, and I'm just so happy we get to see Ribbit. We've already saw her from episode 5, and now we finally saw her. I really also can't wait to see a season 2. Just like, if the digital circus actually gets a season 2, it'd be amazing. But I think it might not. But I think it could get a spin-off series. Who knows? But what happens next is completely obvious. You know when Jack said, "I've never been up here in a while"? Or, yeah, he says this because he's trying to foreshadow the part about Ribbit. And yes, when Ribbit and Kaufmo were drinking hot chocolate, the episode 7 picture proves it. Because if the episode 8 trailer dropped, and Jax's hand was assuming of that scene, now it's sure that was all about this. But let's dive even deeper into what the lore of the circus is. When Ribbit abstracts, Kaufmo abstracts, and we get to see some scenes from Pomni in the pilot. We get to see it in more, recreated scenes. And yes, before we dive even deeper into what the lore is, I can say that Caine is back, it has a happy ending, and all that happens. Oh yeah, Caine says goodbye to his power. We get to see all the characters' real name. Well, if any of you want more spoilers, I think I can give more spoilers tomorrow. But for now, here's what I got.